Before we get started, I just want to make two very quick corrections on the last verbs video that we did. Number one, when I wrote the pronouns down the side, when I was writing they, I put hum, but actually this is wrong, okay? Don't put hum, it's just hum. Number two, when I was running through the duals and we were doing the they both wrote in the feminine, I said that it's katabta, but it's not. We should put a fatha on the top of that ba. Katabata. That's the right one. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum everybody, this is your Arabic teacher Sam, and a very warm welcome to the latest Arabic language tutorial on Arabic verbs. This is probably lesson 5 in this playlist now. We've done past tense singular, present tense singular, future tense, past tense dual and plurals, so now we're doing present tense dual and plurals. So we're going to run through them with the verb kataba again. You know, I'm open-minded to other videos if we want to just have a big practice of other verbs, but I think using the verb kataba is fine just to demonstrate how, you know, how Arabic verbs work. So we'll crack on with it. Yeah, we'll get into the present tense now. So the past tense, we learned that on the past tense verbs is pretty much just a game of suffixes. It's pretty much just a game in the past tense of putting stuff on the end. But in the present tense, we have both. Yeah, in the present tense, there's always prefixes. Present tense has prefixes, has stuff you bolt on the beginning of the word. So we'll have a run through using kataba. So as I said, you know, we have things that go on the beginning, and so we'll start off with huma. Okay, huma. We're talking in the third person. We're saying like them two, those two guys. Yeah, we're saying, you know, two people in the third person. And once again, this has two different conjugations. Okay, one pronoun. Conjugation for both the masculine and for the feminine. It had that in the past tense, you know, so this isn't new. It's just the same way, right? It's the third person for two people. But the difference, just like we did in the past tense, it was in the same place on the board in the past tense. The difference is just masculine and feminine. So we'll start off with the masculine one. Pretty much a way of recognizing a masculine verb in the present tense as a ya at the beginning. There are no feminine verbs. There's one actually in the plural in the third person actually, but we'll get to that. But for the most part, ya at the beginning is a way of recognizing masculine verbs for the most part. So we have yaktub. You know, that's pretty much the same as That's pretty much, we have yaktubu as the singular, right, in the present tense. So this little ending that we're going to put on now, this is the way of us knowing that it's, us knowing that it's dual, is this yaktubani. Yaktubani. This ani ending is like, that's like a dual 101, right, even for nouns. Yeah, that's what you put on the end of nouns. Yeah, yaktubani. So that ani ending is usually how you recognise a dual. Those of you who know Surah Ar-Rahman, you'll know that surah is packed with duals. If you're looking for a surah in the Quran to practice your duals on, Surah Ar-Rahman is packed with them. So what's the feminine then? Okay, so the feminine in the third person is exactly the same, but we just put a ta at the beginning. Taktubani. Taktubani. Okay, that's saying like those two girls are writing. Those two girls are writing. Taktubani. And then, you know, here for you two, it's the same. You know, it's the same as that. We have that ta at the beginning. Taktubani. 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 But we're familiar with that concept. I mean, if you remember back to our singular lesson in the present tense, you remember that the here and the enter, they're both tektubu. We say here tektubu, we say enter tektubu. So we're familiar with that concept anyway, with the verbs kind of being, you know, used for more than one person. So this is the case in the third person, in the feminine, and the second person, either whether it's masculine or feminine. You use that for the end to a man, whether you two are girls, or you two are boys, or you two are a mixture of the two. Cool. So that is dual, pretty much. That's dual summed up. Yeah, those are the things that you put at the beginning. That's the stuff you put at the end. Yeah, you'll get a good look at the pronouns now. I will do an entire separate lesson on pronouns, I think. Once we're done with a good amount of verb stuff, I will maybe do a couple of videos on pronouns. But these are the pronouns, corrected. Pronouns are kind of manipulated a little bit in dialect and stuff, which is where I slipped up. yeah, the right way of saying them is hum, and then hunna, antum, and then antunna, and then nahnu. And nahnu always becomes ihna, or almost always, in most dialects I've ever heard, becomes ihna. But anyway, let's run through them. So, third person, masculine, a lot of times, as I say, has a ya at the beginning. So we're going to start with ya for the hum, when we're saying they, okay? So we're going to have our ktubu in the middle again, just as before. Yaktubu. And then we're going to add a plural ending, which is una. Yaktubuna. Yaktubuna. They are writing. Yaktubuna. Or if we put another verb in, like abada, to worship, if we're saying they are worshipping. Ya'buduna. Or if we're saying, and actually this una ending is used with nouns a lot of the time as well. To say that, people are kafiruna, or a group of people a group of disbelievers. Those of you who know Surah Al-Kafirun, that's the reason why I'm quoting that. So a lot of these endings, actually, a lot of these suffixes, they actually translate into what you use with the nouns as well. So they're really useful to remember. The hunna, right? We're in the third person still, and we actually use yeah here at the beginning in the third person, even though it's feminine, which is why I kind of stuttered on it over there, because most of the time it is masculine, right? But actually in this case, with these plurals in the present tense, the yeah is used to kind of denote that it's third person rather than it's masculine. So you use the yeah at the beginning, have the same root in the middle, this ktubu, so we're going to have yaktubu, or yaktub, and then the ending that we put is this na, yaktubna, having a sukoon and a na on the end. And it's important that it's just a short na as well. It's not yaktubna, it's yaktubna. But as I think I mentioned in the last lesson, like these feminine plurals are really unusual. They're really rare. Just because in general life you don't tend to get a group of women on their own that you're referring to, but obviously Allah uses them in the Quran, and they are used, and they are real Arabic and stuff. But so yaktubna, right? So as I said, like this ya at the beginning denotes that they're third person. That's why both of these have this ya at the beginning, because they're both third person. But the masculine and the feminine are differentiated with the una for the masculine and the na for the feminine. So if we come on to the next two, these two in the second person, okay, we're going to apply a similar principle, but instead of having a yeah, which we said denotes third person, we're going to start with a te with both of these, because that's going to denote second person. We're saying you guys, antum or antunna, and we're going to put our ktubu in there as well, because we're working with the same verb the whole way through. Taktub. I'll put this down here as well. Ktub. And then we're just going to use these endings up here. You know how this una was a way of denoting the masculine one. We're going to say taktubuna. Taktubuna. All of you guys are writing taktubuna. And then if all of you guys were women, we'd say taktubna. Taktubna. All of you guys. So you can see like these two. These endings have the same for the masculine. They're all ktubuna, but you have a ya at the beginning for the third person, ta at the beginning for the second person. And then the last one, this is the easiest, the nahnu, the we. To be honest, I often teach that with the singulars. I often do all the singulars, and then at the end I just put the we on at the end, because it's more in line with that. Like all of these, we're learning how to have something on the beginning and something on the end. We're learning about having a prefix and a suffix. But with nahnu, more like most of the singulars, we just put a na at the beginning. Yeah? So nektubu. With the present tense, in the first person when you're saying I, you say ana ektubu, and this at the beginning sort of comes from the ana. And the same way that down here, nahnu, when we're saying we get nektubu. It's almost as if that na comes from the nahnu as well. So you can probably see why that teaches very well when you're doing the singular. But I thought in these videos it's easier for the titles and stuff, and for you guys searching for them, for you to be aware that you can type duals and plurals and then find just duals and plurals, or search singulars and find just your singulars. So that's the whole bunch, right? That's how they all work. That's how our duals work and how our plurals work, and that is basically, so far what we've done throughout this little series is we've gone through all of what we call strong verbs, verbs that have 3 consonants. Because most verbs do. Most verbs are made up of 3 consonants, whether that's kataba, meaning to do with writing, or if it's abada, to do with worshipping, or any of those 5 that I put up in the first lesson, whether it's kabura, shariba, jalasa, qara'a, or kataba. They're all called strong verbs. They have 3 consonants in each of them. But what we might branch out into is hollow verbs, perhaps, that don't have 3. The middle one is a vowel rather than a consonant. You have beginning week and end week as well, where there's a vowel at the beginning or at the end, and they conjugate slightly differently. They have their rules, but this is the base. This is the base that the Arabic language student needs to have, and all the other rules come out of this as well. So we're going to keep on progressing through this. There's so much to teach for Arabic verbs, and almost by accident, we've kind of stumbled across this little project, this little playlist. So if we could create a journey just from the most simple stuff in the past tense of simple verbs all the way through to the more complicated grammatical stuff, would be really, really nice. So let me know what you think would be the nice next step, for us to progress into. I'll continue doing these on a fairly regular basis. I was actually planning on giving this a few days, but as someone very kindly contacted me on my Facebook page and corrected me on a couple of slip-ups that I made, please forgive me, guys. I'm only human, right? Like, if I make slip-ups in my videos, I'll always correct myself. I'm plenty humble enough to have my students come to me and be like, you messed up in that video, you said something that was wrong. I mean, if it's really offensive, I'll take it down, obviously, but with little slip-ups, I'll just correct them. And I hope you look forward to the next video. If you enjoyed this video, I really hope you did. Don't forget to like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to become part of the notification squad as well. If you're enjoying these videos, you want to be kept up to date with all of my videos every day, then don't forget to hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. I think that's where it lives. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video and seeing your comments in the comments section. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.